the glory of the conqueror, my lord. He comes.
When you hear the name Brock Lesnar, a single word often comes to mind: destruction. For more than 2 decades, Lesnar has carved out a reputation as the most intimidating, dangerous, and dominant force in WWE and combat sports history. Known as the Beast Incarnate, Lesnar's presence alone strikes fear into opponents. He doesn't just win matches, he ends them, often leaving a trail of broken bodies in his wake. On the other side of this brutal equation stands Jacob Fatu, the Samoan Werewolf. A man who carries both the legacy and the savagery of his proud Samoan bloodline. Fatu has built his name outside WWE through raw power, agility unexpected for his size, and a violent, unrelenting style that has drawn comparisons to some of the most feared competitors in history. His nickname, the Werewolf, isn't just a gimmick, it's an identity. He stalks opponents, unleashes sudden bursts of ferocity, and leaves chaos in his path. The calm before the storm. The night had started like any other chaotic episode of WWE Raw. Tensions were already running high, with storylines involving the Judgment Day, Cody Rhodes, and Roman Reigns dominating the show. Jacob Fatu had been spotted backstage, an intimidating presence even without saying a word. His aura enough to make even seasoned superstars keep their distance. Rumors had been circulating that WWE management was preparing to officially integrate Fatu into mainline programming, possibly tying him into the Bloodline saga that has defined the company for years. Meanwhile, Brock Lesnar had been absent from WWE television for weeks. After his last brutal outing, many believed he was once again taking one of his infamous hiatuses. But with Brock, you never truly know when he'll strike. The Beast works on his own schedule, and when he decides to appear, it's never without purpose. The encounter, according to eyewitnesses, the altercation began in the backstage loading dock area. Fatu was seen talking with several officials, his massive frame looming as he prepared for what many assumed was a scheduled segment later in the night. The tension in the air shifted immediately when Brock Lesnar arrived, storming through with his usual cold, predatory glare, his presence sucking the oxygen out of the room. At first, no one understood what was happening. Was Lesnar simply making his return known? Was this going to be a face-to-face stare-down, setting up a dream match between two monsters? Within seconds, the answer became clear. Brock Lesnar wasn't there to talk. The attack without warning, Lesnar lunged at Jacob Fatu, tackling the Samoan Werewolf into a stack of production crates with bone-rattling force. The sound echoed through the arena hallways as crew members scattered, trying to avoid the carnage. Fatu, to his credit, didn't stay down. True to his reputation, he fought back with vicious strikes, his fists slamming into Lesnar's ribs and jaw with thunderous impact. What followed was less a fight and more a war. Lesnar slammed Fatu against the concrete walls while Fatu responded with a super kick that staggered the Beast. The two titans collided again and again, their sheer power shaking the backstage area to its core. Security rushed in, but they were tossed aside like rag dolls. Neither man interested in ending the violence. Witnesses reported seeing Fatu lift Lesnar onto his shoulders as if attempting his signature Samoan drop, only for Brock to counter with a series of clubbing elbows. In a shocking display of speed, Lesnar scooped Fatu up and delivered a modified spinebuster through a table, sending sparks flying from the equipment nearby. The crowd in the arena, watching on the big screen, erupted into chants of "Holy us!" as the chaos unfolded. Locker room reaction superstars scrambled to the scene. Reports suggest that Jey Uso and Solo Sikoa were among the first to intervene, shouting in Samoan as they tried to pull Fatu away from Lesnar. Drew McIntyre and Sheamus were spotted trying to hold Lesnar back, though even their combined strength seemed barely enough to contain the Beast. Officials, referees, and security guards eventually managed to separate the two, but not before Lesnar broke free one last time and speared Fatu into a metal barricade. The collision bent the steel and left both men gasping, but neither willing to admit defeat. The segment ended abruptly with both Lesnar and Fatu being pulled in opposite directions, each still roaring like caged animals. Fan and media frenzy. The WWE universe exploded online within minutes. Fans flooded Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok with clips of the brawl, declaring it a dream match come to life. Hashtags like hashtag Beast vs. Werewolf and hashtag Lesnar vs. Fatu trended worldwide. Wrestling journalists called it one of the most shocking backstage attacks in recent memory, while fans debated who came out looking stronger. Some argued that Jacob Fatu standing toe-to-toe with Brock Lesnar solidified him instantly as a top-tier threat in WWE. Others pointed out that Lesnar's calculated brutality reminded the world that even at this stage of his career, he remains unmatched when it comes to sheer violence. What this means for WWE? The attack raises massive questions about the future. Was this a scripted moment leading to a colossal pay-per-view showdown between Lesnar and Fatu? Or was this a case of Lesnar asserting dominance over a new arrival, ensuring that Jacob Fatu knows his place in the food chain? From a storyline perspective, the possibilities are endless. Fatu's ties to the Samoan dynasty could see him integrated into the bloodline's ongoing saga. Could Lesnar be targeting Fatu as a message to Roman Reigns and his family? Or is this simply Brock being Brock, unpredictable, uncontrollable, and destructive? The collision course. Ahead. What seems inevitable now is a full-fledged match between Brock Lesnar and Jacob Fatu. On one side, you have the Beast Incarnate, a former UFC heavyweight champion, a multi-time WWE champion, and arguably the most feared man in the industry's history. On the other, the Samoan Werewolf, a rising powerhouse, hungry to carve his name into WWE's history books, carrying with him the pride of his heritage and the savagery of his reputation. If their backstage clash was any indication, a sanctioned match between the two would be nothing short of carnage. Tables, barricades, bodies. Nothing would survive intact. Final thoughts. Brock Lesnar's backstage attack on Jacob Fatu wasn't just a fight, it was a statement. It reminded the WWE Universe that Lesnar remains the ultimate predator, ready to destroy anyone who crosses his path. But it also showcased Jacob Fatu as a fearless warrior, one who can withstand the fury of the beast and come back swinging. This confrontation wasn't the end. It was only the beginning. The beast and the werewolf have crossed paths, and the wrestling world will never be the same.